Welcome back to the all-new MD Connected. I'm Joanna Gomez. One of the main concerns for Miami-Dade college students every year are what elective courses they should enroll in, besides the required classes. How do they choose the right ones, and how important are electives? Here to tell us about selecting electives at MDC is Professor of Social Sciences, David Demko. Thank you so much for being here, David. Well, first of all, let's first start off with there's required electives and then there's the electives.
Yes. Yes. There are two kinds of courses. One will give you a career, and the other one will give you a life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Has the life. Let's first talk about the career before we get into the life.
Well, a career, you need to know certain aspects of what you're going to do with people. If you're going to be a dentist, accountant, or business person, there are things that you need to know, computers, sales, and that sort of thing.
The general.
Yes.
The general understanding. Yes. Now for the life.
Now for the life, maybe you need to believe in yourself. That's why an elective is important. Psychology, sociology teaches you about people. Sometimes it motivates you to believe in yourself to even try and come back to school in the first place.
I never thought of it that way. I should have thought of it that way when I was in school. Right? I should have. A little late now, but that's a very good way.
Yes.
It's probably great for the students that are thinking, what should I take? I know what I want to do, but I'm probably going to miss those other different qualities.
Yes, as a matter of fact, students sometimes change their mind or their career about 5 times in college years.
I understand. I'm one of those.
What did you start out to be?
I started off that I wanted to be a psychiatrist, but I was missing that skill. That skill, you have to be a very good listener.
Right.
And I think the more I went in, I learned I was not a very good listener. So there that went for, you know.
That's what my wife tells me. She said, you're not a good listener. You like to talk. And that's what makes you a professor.
And that's what makes me, here you go, I'm talking again.
Right.
So tell me about the electives.
Yes, an elective is something that you take to make you well-rounded.
Okay.
The Romans, the Latin people, had a very, very important saying for it. It was called instruction.
Okay.
And instruct is a word that means force in. And that means there are some things you have to memorize, some things you have to learn so that you can do your career. Then there's the education, which is also Latin for lead out of darkness. And that makes you a well-rounded person. You could go to any dentist that you want to, but you're going to go to the one that you have a personal connection with.
Very true.
Right.
So these elective courses, they help you get that last little...
Yes.
To tie in the perfectness?
Yes.
Really?
Psychology, for example. Some people don't believe in themselves. I'm from a family of 10 children. We have very different perspectives on life. We're first generations Americans, so we love education. Maybe that's why I became a professor. But one of the things that is very important to us is finding out that you can do something. What is your purpose? Everybody who goes to college, sometimes, as my father would say, you have to be a doctor, you have to be an attorney, or things of this nature. My best friend, Jose, his son is a physician now, but his other son is an artist. And they're both very different, and they had very different gifts. Education will help you to develop those gifts.
But what I've seen is a lot of problems is, as a student and as you're growing as an adult, you don't know what you want to do.
Yes.
That is the problem. You have so many things that you like.
Yes.
And you also know your dislikes, but you don't know what you want to spend the rest of your life doing.
Oh, the rest of your life.
Because that's a long time, if you know what I mean.
Hopefully it's a long time.
Hopefully it's a long time, but if you're going down the road, it's just a long time. So it's hard to think, what do I want to do every day when I wake up? What advice do you have for those students that are going, you know, Professor, I just don't know what I want to do?
Yes. The whole idea is to try new things. The more things that you try and experiment, I took various classes, and some of those classes told me that I was stronger in other areas than some. But I wanted to say something about the rest of your life. Many of Miami-Dade students are adults. And they're coming back, maybe their kids are grown, and they're saying, I'm 50, I'm 55, even 60, and now's my time. We call these the baby boomers of America.
Right.
So I always say, stop acting your age and start living your life. You can have a new beginning at any decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's moving.
Oh, thank you.
I'm about to go and roll right now. No, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Because even in, for example, if someone raises their children, I remember when I took a class in college, it was child psychology. And I said to myself, why do I need to learn all this about babies and how they grow and things of this nature? And so I put my notes away. Then my wife and I had 2 beautiful daughters. And they were growing up through the terrible twos, and I wanted to know why they wouldn't eat or how they bonded from one parent to the other. And so what that did is, it wasn't a career education, but it was something that helped enrich my life. I have two lovely daughters. Both of them are getting married this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And they have beautiful lives, and so they're well-rounded people, because a lot of times people get into a career and they don't realize that you really have to enjoy that and share that with other people. Psychology does this, sociology does this, geography, that's very important. And I have to say that many American students don't know geography as well as they should. You talk about the Middle East and they think you're talking about Chicago. You know?
Team USA.
Right.
She went on air and she said on the pageant she didn't know where anything was. Right. I completely agree with you. So what if someone is a journalism, mass communications journalism major? What electives should they take?
I think they would want to take electives in anthropology, in psychology and sociology. I brought a coin along with me, and all the coin says e pluribus unum. And what that is Latin for we are one people, but we are also one. But so we have to understand what brings Americans together. What do we share as a society, but also what's important to us as individuals. And that's what makes education important, because if I'm a journalist, an investigative journalist, I'd want to make sure, how do I make that person trust me?
Right.
How do I make them comfortable so that they'll talk about their life?
They're those people skills again.
Oh, yes. Because see, their story is going to tell other people and give them hope as well.
Very, very true. So you are part of the social sciences department?
Yes, that's correct.
Talk to me about that department.
Well, social sciences is very interesting. It's a place where many students might come first and say, I'm not decided. I think I like people. A lot of people like psychology, for example. Why? Because it's relevant. So someone says, I'm going to get psychology so I can use it on my boyfriend to make him that type of thing.
So is that the first?
Yeah.
The first?
It's a people. That's what social science is. It's people and what are they like, and that's what makes psychology so magic. Somebody says, oh, now I understand.
Right.
You know why my boyfriend doesn't talk, because men don't talk. Women like to talk. Men said, I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
So learning about people gives you joy in life. Learning about people, including yourself, gives you the motivation to want to make a difference with your life. Now, that doesn't have anything to do with a career per se, but it does have a lot to do with your happiness and the purpose that you accomplish in your life.
Very true. So what kind of classes are in the social sciences department that can help someone not only with their careers but also with life?
Well, there's a course, it's a psychology course, and it's called personal effectiveness. And probably my wife would say, David, you need personal effectiveness, because sometimes I don't listen. Many people do that. They'll wait till the other person stops talking so they can start. And so how do you listen? That's so important. As a matter of fact, if someone has a confidant, someone who will listen to their problems, they will live 2 years longer than someone who does not. Sometimes you're not feeling well and you just want to pour your heart out, and you just want someone to know that they care. Oftentimes we say, I don't know what to tell my friend. I don't know what. You don't have to, just being there. So you understand the importance of human contact. If you look at a course in history, which is very important, how do we know where we're going if we don't know where we've come from?
Very true.
Yes.
Very nice. So how many electives should a student have at Miami-Dade before they graduate?
I would say they probably have about 20 hours of electives. Now, that's interesting. We call them electives, but they're not electives. You really have to take them.
The required electives.
Yes, you have to have a certain amount in other fields. And that gets back to what we call, this is for your career and this is for you.
Your life.
Yeah.
So how many of the U electives are required? Those are 20?
Approximately 20.
Approximately 20. And you can choose whichever electives you desire as a student to choose.
Oh, yes. And you'll get advice from a faculty member or a counseling department, because if you're going to take a course in psychology, there are many different kinds of courses that you can take. Some with psychology of childhood, some with personal effectiveness.
But you should also try to take an elective that is completely different from your career. Isn't that also beneficial?
Well, I think so, because we don't know what is relevant or irrelevant. Because my story about the child development, I didn't know I needed that until I had these wonderful baby girls. and I couldn't figure them out quite, and now, you know, it just made my life more full. So I think the main thing is when you learn anything, whether it be in school, whether it be elective or careers, you are becoming more powerful because you understand people. You have a belief in yourself. You have courage to hang in there because you learn from history,
right,
great challenges that people had, and they persevered.
Right.
So it's about you, education. It's about life. It's about the celebration of other people too. Here at Miami-Dade, I can say hello to people in about 29 different languages. And it's just not different words, because when you say I'm going to take a nap or I'm going to take a siesta, every time you use a language, you have to know a little bit about the culture and how people think.
Right, so it's all about learning.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the enlightenment. That was wonderful, the
Thank you.
positive energy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Don't go away. We'll be right back after this brief pause. You're watching the all-new MD Connected.